Hey friends, and welcome to another episode of At Home with Eastbrook Homes. My name is Eric Hulkran, and on this episode, we are talking to Kayla Klug. She is the CEO of the Minted Grove, about her move into her first Eastbrook home and then upgrading to a second one and running a business out of that home. Hope you enjoy the podcast. And my guest today, Miss Kayla Klug from the Minted Grove. How are you, my friend?
I am so good. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for taking a couple minutes today. We're obviously talking about Eastbrook Homes, as that is the podcast. And so my question is, how did you guys get involved? What was the decision-making that landed you at Eastbrook Homes, and what was the process like?
Well, back in 2017, we decided that we were going to move back home after having our first child. And when we had her, we decided that we wanted to be closer to family, so DeWitt. And Eastbrook actually has a huge presence here in DeWitt for newer model construction homes. And we did walkthrough after walkthrough of all the homes in the area, which the market was nothing like how it is right now. I can't even imagine right now.
Right.
No, but we were just about to jump on a plane on a Sunday, and our realtor called and said, "Hey, there's this one home that jumped on the market. I think you're going to love it. Let's just go before you jump on that plane to look at it." And it was an Eastbrook home. It was our first Eastbrook home. And the second we pulled into that subdivision, we knew right away, this is the construction we want. This is the quality, the neighborhood, the whole atmosphere. We were sold.
And which model do you guys have?
So we started in the Taylor. And then our family grew, the business grew. So, now we're in the Berkshire, and I'm so happy in it. And I keep hinting at my husband that, hey, maybe if they come out with a larger floor plan.
So you are the first person I've talked to that has done two of these, right? Most of the people that I have on the podcast, it's kind of their first Eastbrook home. What was like, you're in the first one, you're in the Taylor, and you're like, I love this, but I need more space. What was that transition like? Are you in the same subdivision you were in, or did you move subdivisions?
So not only did we outgrow the home, it was actually a spec home that
Got it.
built. So we were the second owners in that house. And we actually ultimately needed a production barn for the small business. And the HOA said no. So instead, we're like, all right, well, let's start looking for some land. We want that barn. So that's where it led us to where we are now.
That leads us to the Minted Grove, which is the business that you and your husband run. Give me some background on, what spawned the launch of this company and what it's been like for you.
Well, back in 2018, I was on maternity leave, and my husband was just complaining one day saying, "Hey, why don't you go clean up your craft stuff? I'm so sick of seeing it all collect dust." You know how men are.
I might actually know how men are. Yes, I might.
Yeah, you might know that one. So it actually motivated me. I wanted to do something different. So I saw a quirky doormat. I think it was probably on Pinterest. And I was like, you know what? I think I can do that, and I won't have to spend $100 on a custom doormat. So I just remember sitting there at the kitchen table, painting a mat, and I was like, hey, this wasn't so bad. So that's how it started. My husband was my motivation behind it. I wanted to get the dust off everything.
It's an amazing product, and you have an incredible amount of stock. What is the process of picking the ones that make it? Because right now on your site, if you go to the Minted Grove, you got about 8 pages of product. I don't know the exact number of mats, but you've got a lot of them that cover everything in the zeitgeist, everything in the pop culture realm. So what is that process like?
Well, I actually rely heavily on my customers and their custom orders. And I can't even tell you how many custom orders I get a week. And some just really stick with me. And I'm like, you know what? This speaks to me. It speaks to them. Let's just add it to the site. Let's see who else can bite at this one. And that's how we've wound up with about 8 pages. We have hundreds of doormats. We were just crunching numbers the other day, and we're close to selling 10,000 doormats within the past 3 years. We're almost hitting our 3 years. So
wow,
it's insane. I love every second of it though.
So Kayla, talk to me about not only the entrepreneurial spirit, but talk to me specifically about when did that happen, right? So in most businesses, the business sort of drives the product line. Maybe they take some input from customers, right? But for the most part, they go, we're coming out with a sweater and it's going to be orange and right. But
Exactly.
you just said that the customers sort of drive the product line, which is the ideal scenario for somebody who owns a
Exactly.
business, right? But like,
Yep.
how long did it take for you to get to that point where your customers are thinking the Minted Grove is so amazing, I want to buy a custom mat, and then you're going, this is a great idea for an actual mat. Let me take it
Yeah.
over into the product line. How long did that switch happen?
Honestly, like 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Wow.
Social media has been my best friend for this business. I can't praise it enough. The community I've met off from it. And I just started with my personal Instagram account and posted photos of the doormats I was painting and hey guys, look what I did. And this was so fun. And then people were like, hey, will you make me one of those? And within 2 weeks, I decided to do a little background on Etsy, started our first Etsy shop. We it was just phenomenal. Etsy is a great database for somebody that's just starting out as a small business. It allows them different venues. So we can go to Switzerland. We were shipping to China. We were shipping Hawaii, everywhere that you can think of. And it's all because of the platform Etsy allowed us to start with. And we just outgrew it. So, I mean, it's honestly, it took like 2 weeks to get the whole ball rolling. And we're just rolling with the punches, learning as we go. It's,
I love everything about this story, Kayla, but the thing I want to kind of key in on is going through this last 12 months, there's a large majority of people that have been laid off or displaced or put on leave or some sort of thing like that. And I wonder if you might be able to verbalize the ability to take an idea and run with it when you have that opportunity. Your opportunity was your husband was like, look, you've got this pile of stuff and you're not doing anything
mhm.
with it. Can I have that space back? And you went, yeah, maybe. No, I kidding. I'm going to actually use it now. And then I'm going to sell 10,000 of them in 3 years. There's power in that. And I wonder if you could put some words around how you identify that thing that you can try and see if people are interested in buying it.
Yeah, I mean, with my little project of the doormat when it first started out, I was passionate about it. It was something I personally wanted. And I think it's just don't be afraid to ask for ideas. If you got something that you can't stop thinking about, there's probably a reason behind it. So think big, the sky's the limit. And I mean, as I said, my husband was my motivator. Let everybody else be your motivator. Just you need to verbalize it. It can all be internal, but the second you verbalize it is the second that the Minted Grove was able to take off. It's scary. It really is that first week being like, okay, I'm going to do this. It was so nerve wracking and getting those first couple orders, but now it's like 10 orders a day. And it's just like, hey, people appreciate what you do. And it's awesome that you can be your own boss and make a living off from it. With the pandemic hitting, it affected us all. But just being your own boss and as long as the passion is there, you're going to be just fine.
You said earlier that one of the problems with the business was this barn, which was solved by moving to a different Eastbrook home, right? But what were some of the other sticking points that you've seen in the last 3 years that you guys had to solve by running a business out of your house or out of the barn, per se?
Not even from the business perspective or growing family. We started with one kid and it worked out great having the ability to have, let's see, in the Taylor, it was all bedrooms upstairs. It was great. We were able to tend to the baby just quickly. And as our family grew, now we're at 3 and we have a 4-month-old at home and just being able to have our master suite on the bottom floor and the kids all upstairs. It's the ability that Eastbrook allows you to pick what they have 15, 16 floor plans to choose from, but then you can knock down walls. You can adjust them however you want. So I think that really stuck out to us when meeting with tons of local builders in the area and us just in the back of our mind being like, hey, we know Eastbrook's quality. We know what they can offer. It's a no brainer.
I want to leave with this. So um, if 2021 things are kicking up, what does this business look like in 3 years? What are the plans for you guys? Will it be more than mats? Do you have that in the back of your mind, or would that be a totally different business, or what's next for you?
Well, I am a very busy woman, so I can't.
I can hardly tell, Kayla. I can hardly
Yeah,
tell.
I'm actually at my other job right now. No, I have so much fun with the doormats. We've got a good thing going. The product speaks for itself. My customers are great. The community is amazing. I don't see us adding any more product other than just yesterday we went to Joanne Fabrics. I want to do undermats, and I know my followers are going to see this, that I'm telling Eric that, hey, I'm going to do undermats. And they're like, she wouldn't even tell us. But, with the layering effect with doormats,
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be there. Don't worry. So that's all I really see us growing into. I see us with our barn. It's just, I'm excited to see.
So let me ask you that same question in a different way, though. Do you see an opportunity for, let's say, a CPG partnership? So, the Minted Grove with a Target, is that something that could be on the horizon?
Yeah, absolutely. We have quite a few relationships throughout the United States with boutiques throughout, and we probably have about 10 different boutiques that we ship to. And I know that's just the beginning. Wholesaling is becoming a thing. And it's great because honestly, I actually kind of prefer it. I can get my order of 50 doormats, ship it out, and no problem, rather than the incoming orders of one here, one there, custom order here, custom order there. So yeah, I do think a partnership with a bigger company is definitely in the horizon. And yeah,
I can assume that speaking engagements in a book will be after that then, yes?
yes, absolutely. And I'll make sure you're there, Eric.
I will be there for sure. This has been an absolute blast. I cannot thank you enough for the time and wish you the best. The website is themintedgrove.com. If this is new for them, they haven't heard of the
Yeah.
brand, which social platform is it, Instagram or Pinterest? Like, where should they go first?
Instagram, follow us on Instagram. And I actually was talking to Marissa and I promised her followers, you guys, we're doing a 20% off any order discount all throughout summer using Eastbrook Homes as the discount code. So 20% off any order for anyone listening.
That's awesome. Kayla, thank you so much for the time. Have an awesome day.
Thank you so much, Eric.